I'm back. So the whole Enneagram thing, I don't know, it just really worked for me, like mentally. It started getting me to, assess myself, and I've been kind of like in this moment, in general, where I'm kind of like trying to motivate myself to, continue to exist, exist, and, think about the future and all that. And basically, I don't know, like it got me thinking basically, like I went out and I wasn't thinking about this, but the way there and the way back, I was like assessing myself and how I'm being and all that, and that could be really, helpful, really, uh, kind of, conductive of figuring, something out. So, I'm trying to figure something out in my life, and I think this is going to help me. So here I am, back with this. So we are at the meaning of the arrows in brief. So I also have a lot of examples. I'm not gonna read them. It's like this take with like examples. When moving in the direction of disintegration, stress, self-confident 8 suddenly becomes secretive and fearful at 5. However, when moving in that direction of integration, growth, lustful controlling 8s become more open-hearted and caring, like healthy Jews. So no, it's saying that, like in their disintegration, they are kind of they're not open-hearted and caring. And I was talking about how I was not, I didn't really identify with the whole, selfless aspect of this. So yeah, I guess it does have something here. Also the secretive and fearful, like it makes a lot of sense for me. Like I do have a tendency to just isolate myself from people, and yeah, and like things being kind of ruled by fear is something that sometimes happens, and I don't know, that's kind of that. So it's related to this here pretty much. So type 8 overview. We have named the personality type 8 the challenger because of all types 8s enjoy taking on challenges themselves as well as giving others opportunities to challenge them to exceed themselves in some way. Once again, the part of like challenging others to help them succeed, I don't really relate to that. Maybe it is because I'm not surrounding myself with a whole lot of people. Maybe if I was more of a people person, if I interacted more, like this might prove to be true. But as of right now, I'm just, if you're saying so, I believe you. But yeah, I do like, I do not do I like challenges. I kind of need challenges. Otherwise, there's kind of like this plateau. It doesn't really work for me. I think my mom's talking to me, maybe not. Yeah, but like that plateau that I'm saying, like that does make me kind of like lack interest in going on. Basically, I need something to engage me. Otherwise, like it's not just like what's the point, but I won't be engaged with my surroundings if there is not something. Of course, that these challenges they can vary in type and also in size. It doesn't have to be something ginormous. It's just something that is not engaging enough. Something that kind of like takes me, not takes me by surprise, but something that it requires me to pay attention to what's happening, to kind of like, as I said, being be resourceful, figuring things out pretty much. Okay, so the 8s are charismatic and have the physical and psychological capacity to persuade others to follow them into all kinds of endeavors, from starting a company to rebuilding a city to running a household to waging war to making peace. I would like if that were true to me. I'm not sure it is, but yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I call myself charismatic as is, at least, because that's the thing, like I don't interact with people that much, and I feel that for you to know whether that is the case for you, like that requires the same, that is kind of required, you having to interact with people. But I will say that like that is something that I feel like when I was younger I wanted to be charismatic, not for its own sake, but because it would kind of like help me achieve my goals. It would help me, achieve the things that I wanted, and I feel like right now is more something that I want, not for its own sake necessarily, but it's just like a way to engage with people. I don't know, I feel like I don't think I'm the most charismatic person in the world, but I don't think there's a certain race, to me. I feel like, I can engage people in an interesting way. Yeah, I don't know. And the physical and psychological capacity to persuade others, that I 100% will want to be the case. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, I do have my examples of, getting people, I guess, inspiring people to do as I say. Not as I say, but like kind of like get people to, think in the same way that I was thinking about something so that we could, build on that. But yeah, it's have enormous willpower and vitality, and they feel most alive when they are exercising these capacities in the world. I mean, willpower and vitality. Like when I'm normal to manic, that is the case. I have an ADHD, so I do have a whole lot of energy to do things. So, and right now I'm kind of okay, so I relate to this. But you know, if I was a little more depressed, I don't know if I would, particularly with the whole willpower thing. Like, yeah. So they're most alive when they're exercising those capacities. I do feel great when I'm just being in my just allowed to be my energetic self, just you know doing things, engaging with things, looking at things, you know, researching. It's not even necessarily researching, just you know searching, looking for things, looking at things. But yeah, so kind of that's the thing also about mental illness that I spend so much time you know being depressed that I kind of like that it kind of becomes you know the normal for me, and then I don't really know how to respond to that in a situation where I'm not depressed. Like what is really me, something that we were going on that was kind of like going on in my interactions with mental health professionals, you know, the ones that accompany me, is like, okay, is this my normal, is this what I'm like? And because of trauma for many years, like I wasn't my real self. So you know like right now we are at this point where we're just like trying to figure out like, is this me, is this normal, is this too much? And it's like an exercise. You need to kind of like assess every time that it happens. But from like our recent assessments, you know, this current I am a more energetic person, and I need to be constantly engaging with things, you know, those challenging things, I guess. So otherwise I get bored, and boredom is something that I can quite get around, you know, like that is something that really affects me mentally. Anyways, they use their abundant energy to affect changes in their environment, to leave their mark on it. Oh, okay, I didn't mention this. But also to keep the environment, and especially other people, from hurting them and those they care about. Yeah, like I will say, yeah, I would like to say, because this all feels like, I'm not gonna lie, my life is very peaceful, all things considered. So like, I don't think I have people like in this direct way, kind of like actively, you know, harming me and mine. You know, it's more of a, there's like several levels of separation. You know, it's just more like policies and stuff, not so much, you know, direct forces. So I don't know, you know, I think that this has always been kind of like the case for this Enneagram, also the Myers-Briggs test, because like they're talking about all the hypothetical situations that I haven't really experienced, you know, because I think I said my life is mostly peaceful. You know, I don't have people constantly trying to, you know, I guess harm me or harass me and all that. So I don't know. At an early age, 8 understandings. This requires strength, will, persistence, and endurance, qualities that they develop in themselves and which they look for in others. This really screams like me at 18, to be honest. Like I really valued strength. Like that was the most important thing, you know, to me. That was what I really wanted to project, and what I wanted to be. Sometimes I didn't feel like I was, so I just projected that. And you know, like sometimes, you know, being perceived as something is not the same of being that thing, but there's the whole like fake it till you make it. So sometimes being perceived as, you know, that it has the same effect, you know, because you know, when it comes to people's perception of you and how they're going to treat you, if like they think you are, for example, strong and you're like who's going to defend, you know, yourself or something, they might be less likely to do that, to, you know, do something that will harm you, even though, so like you're not, it might not really be like that, but because people perceive it as such, you do kind of like have a bit of an edge, an advantage in that context. So like being perceived as something is not the same as being that thing, but it does have some weight, it does carry some weight. But yeah, but I will say strength, will, persistence, and endurance is a good way to wrap it up, you know, like to kind of like refer to those things, because I talked about strength, but it was not just strength, it was a series of qualities, and that is kind of the case. So yeah, 18-year-old me would read this and be like, hell yeah, you know, like damn right, that is me, that is what I've developed. 27-year-old me, I'm like, yeah, I kind of, I don't know, I feel like endurance is one, and persistence, they're both ones that I haven't developed. I would say that I'm a persistent and enduring person. And will, when I'm not depressed, also, like I really, I guess I think is it something that I guess I would consider to be like a trait of mine. And strength is one that has been really changed. It has really, time has really changed the way that I think about this and what I consider to be strength. you know, that was an element of invulnerability when I was younger that I attributed to strength. And right now, like, you know, my version of strength involves, you know, me being vulnerable and kind of like accepting myself for who I am, instead of just forcing a version of myself to be kind of like at the forefront. No, I'm just embracing who I am and dealing with, you know, the consequences. You know, like if I need to be strong and not as strong, like we're gonna deal with it. You know, I'm not going to pretend that I am not something that I am, but I'm not just going to leave it at that basically. I will say the part like what they look for in others is one that is also like very true, but at the same time I think I've come to accept people more. I think that has come with me accepting myself more, because I think I had like a really high standard that I held myself to, and as a consequence I held other people to the same standard. Since I kind of like I relaxed on that. It's not that like right now I have like lower standards, it's just that I have redefined my standards to be more realistic and more like well encompassing, because as I mentioned before, like it was very single-mindedly like my version of like strength encompass like certain things, and right now it's broader, as you know it should be, because human beings are not machines. You know, like there's a certain malleability to our existence and, you know, our personalities and our psyche. But yeah, but I would say that I definitely kind of like held others to the very high standard that I held against myself. And I think that right now that I accept myself more, I've kind of come to, you know, really accept people more, meet them where I meet them, you know, instead of just being disappointed that they're not where I want them to be. And that just makes your life better and easier, you know, because people, you know, like they come as they are, you know, to you. So it is, you know, you don't have, I mean, you can't create expectations, but you know, if like people disappoint you, like you can kind of only blame yourself, you know, because you creating those expectations. No, anyways, so Taylor